situation, the status of it, how do we operate Bolabog, what is your business concern there, and we start from there. We have learned a lot during the closure, and of course, DNR right now and the task force will be making revisions on how we will be approaching all projects. Before kasi, we have a deadline finishing certain accomplishment on the next 6 months. Kaya yung first 6 months is just like a little martial law and little Marawi. But right now, we'll be refocusing on interrelationship with all of us. So, and of course, I know you have met my beautiful future director and our new ground commander, which she carries a new title, General Manager, si Director Nati Bernardo. So medyo softer po ngayon si DNR. We brought in our most brilliant and one of the beautiful lady namin sa DNR para may softer. Ako na po yung matapang-tapang ng konti doon. But of course, we'll be renewing all the works at saka lahat ng gagawin natin. The Phase 2, I will be announcing sa inyo yung Phase 2 projects natin. That's why I came here 2 days ago to recap and check the status. I was busy the past few months because I was given another assignment. I do not know if the government loves me or my president loves me, so he gave me again Manila Bay. And they told us that when we first entered Boracay, they told us that Boracay is too big for us. And after 6 months, they gave us Manila Bay, and we told them Boracay is too small for us. So when we told them, the president told us already that number 3 project will be Baguio. So I wrote my president a letter that I will now be refusing him if he will be assigning me to Baguio. So dalawa lang po ang kaya ko. So isang Boracay at saka isang Manila Bay. If I was given a chance to choose whether I want Boracay or I want Manila Bay, I would choose Boracay. Choose Boracay. You know why? I became part of Boracay. And I felt that you are my family. Di ba? Pag pamilya, away bate, away bate. So that gave me a relationship between all of you here. So regardless of you came from other island, you originated from this island, and you're just a transit on this island, you're a foreigner on this island, I consider everybody my brother and sister because of the sacrifices we endured for the past 6 months in the closure. And we are moving forward on how we could revive, on how we could recover. Of course, the pain has been inflicted very, very painful. Not only on the financial, psychological, of course, that includes properties. So lahat po yan tinamaan. That is why this second phase, we try to soften it a little bit. But of course, DNR and the task force will be coming also and continue its mandate and continue its obligation for the Phase 2, Phase 3. And we promise you that Boracay, after 2 years of task force, we promise you that there will be a good circumferential road around Boracay. That includes, of course, the agreement between you and us, if what kind of access are we going to do. And last night, I have a small group meeting with some of you, and I was corrected. So instead of using another term, I would be using a word access. So we start from there, and then we develop our deliberation, and we develop what will be beneficial for us. Of course, I would only be informing you what will be the decision of my bosses. So I could only answer on my level. Sa ngayon, I will take all of our deliberation today. I hope this will be very fruitful. Negative, positive, I just want to hear everything so that I could make a report to my principals that these are the issues, these are the concerns, these are the positive, and these are the negatives. So that government right now will focus and make a sound decision based on all stakeholders concerned. Okay? Now, before we start, I'd like to pass my microphone to my beautiful GM so that she could know you all. Kilala mo na ba lahat? Di pa? Some of them. These are the beautiful people of Bolabog and Boracay. Ma'am, your floor.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to everyone. I'm new to Boracay. I wasn't even here during the painful months of the closure, but I came from Region 4B. That's Mimaropa. We also initiated similar cleanup drives in El Nido, Coron, and Puerto Galera in Mindoro. So that's my experience there is just 1/10 of what has been done here in Boracay. We were telling everyone in DNR, Boracay is the model of all ecotourism destinations in the country. All regions are following the lead of Boracay. And I was assigned here by our secretary precisely to learn from your own experiences, the lessons, and share it to all the other regions in the country. I know that tapos na ang closure, no? We're into another phase of management. The rehab phase hasn't been completed yet, but the rehab and the management phase has to be, harmonized in a way. No, hindi pa kompleto ang rehab as you've seen it. Yung public works and civil works are still ongoing, and the DPWH still has to finish portions of phase 1 while initiating phase 2 of public works. With regards enforcement, we only have 50% compliance as of yet with regards the easement rule, 25+5, and the road easement rule. That's the reason why I called for a meeting of all establishments who haven't complied yet with the easement rule on Tuesday. It's another consultation meeting with stakeholders for us to discuss what problems have you been encountering in, complying with the rule. Precisely to facilitate, your compliance. That's my objective in calling for that meeting on Tuesday. So I really do not know who among you are still not able to comply with these regulations, and let's troubleshoot what are the bottlenecks in compliance. That's with regards to 25+5 easement. So my boss is here after 4 months after the opening. They became busy with Manila Bay now, especially Secretary Simato and Secretary Anyo. But he told me that we were needed there because we're being blamed na iniwanan na ang Boracay. That Boracay was left behind and everybody became busy now with Manila Bay. Manila Bay is like 3 times the task in Boracay. Mas malaki yun. It involves like 3 regions, NCR Region 3 and Region 4A, Calabarzon. So I'll be here with you, and I just hope that you continue partnering with us in, completing the task, finishing the tasks of the Boracay Interagency Task Force. So that's all I can say for now. I can be approached anytime. I know your officers, Sinanette, and I'm always here for you to listen kung ano mga problema. So that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, GM. Now, we will be dispensing on other programs, so I will pass the mic. Nanette will be presiding over all of our issue today. Nanette, your floor, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. I was asked to be here to help them as your Sangguniang Bayan member, as an official of the Municipality of Malay. I'd like to, the USEC here asked me to preside with regards to your questions. If there's anyone, I can see the Bulabog Group, the Paraw Group, the Dive Shop Association, and any other BIHA or I don't know what else. I think Water Sport are all here. So if there's any question, pwede kayong magtanong. Bulabog muna yung unahin natin. So if there's anyone, because I know a few of us were present last night lang. So half of in fact two or three were present last night. The rest were not there. So if there is any question from the group over there or here, please.
Recap, can I talk sitting down na lang, my permission? Last night, when we had a small group meeting, this group gave me a very, very valid and reasonable explanations. So one of those is the first proposal to put in a baywalk or esplanade or walkway as a means of access to landowners parallel to the shoreline. The type of access was not discussed in final because I will be still reporting this to my principal to arrive in what kind of access. We did not describe it as a road because it's too painful to hear it. So we describe it as an access road. So eventually, second thing that they ask us, of course, is to maintain the solitude and quietness of the area. So yung serenity. So yun yung nasabi kagabi. Third is the safety concern by the kiteboarders. If we put on infrastructure there, it may cause accident or whatnot, injuries to our guests, especially foreign guests who are playing or doing the kiteboarding sports. And fourth is, of course, the hindi naman prohibition, but discouragement of a full build-up of that area so as not it a full developed area. So there is a question whether or not that area will be allowed for a full commercial operation. So I believe that half of that or more than half of that area is residential. So critical sa isang residential area, yung serenity. So those were the personal valid arguments that I heard last night, which I didn't heard it when we were here on proposing to build up that area and when we are busy operating on other areas. But right now, it will be phase 2, part of the phase 2. That is why DNR made an initiation or initiative getting to you people so that we could hear it first before our principal would decide on certain matters. Kasi we will be remiss in our obligations if we do not hear, of course, your concern. Para we could raise it up to the task force level and hopefully to the president's level so that we may have a very, very good decision that all of you and everybody are part of the stakeholders before we decide, because the extension access along that Bulabog Road, I believe it's the most controversial after we have branded the first road to be the dramatic road. So ngayon, medyo ibang cesspool pa. Okay. So we'll be improving that also. So I think that's the gist and summary of that last night. And then 2 days ago, we also decided to invite all of you para po we could check on any deliberation that you wanted us to know. So, kailangan ko lang pong malaman lahat. Right now, we will be not deciding kung ano yung gagawin. But you will be the first informations that I will throw and report to my principals. Para mauna muna yung concern ni residents. And then we check on the concerns nung outside of your area. And we check on the concerns of the tourists before I would report that to the principal so that our principal would have a very, very wide view of the matter. So again, I'll pass back my mic to our beautiful presiding officer, hopefully to become a future mayor, ma'am.
Okay, let's continue, no? Thank you, Yusek. Sino po yung may tanong? Is there any question or anything that you want to know?
Love song.
I suppose that my question, last question, was that on the proposed access. I think we would all be very supportive of that. We know that if there's a fire, we need proper access. Garbage services also would be fantastic if we could have that. I think for delivery services, I can state that we've been surviving, doing fine without it. We use our own environmentally friendly way of delivering things. The trucks stop at the access roads and we all have push carts to deliver what we need to our sites, our residences and our hotels. So we've been doing that for the last 10, 15 years already. So I think we would, that kind of logistics we're able to do in an environmentally friendly way, minimal push cart, manual labor style. The other benefit we think the board could bring is, of course, added security for us, because it would be, we assume, a lit boardwalk or access road, so easier to patrol.
Peace and order situation will good at that.
That would really help.
They will patrol of that, they will use their vehicle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because at the moment, those are issues for us: peace and order, garbage, and emergency services. But commercial use, I think we're content with the way.
As existing right now.
As the way it is. So, and also I think the kiteboarders can pitch in, but we're really known as the top kiteboarding destination in Asia. People come year after year after year. We're famous for that sport, and they come for the pristine feeling of Bolabog Beach compared to the very commercial, already white beach. So it's a very particular attraction. People come for that. So, if anybody wants to say anything.
Morning, sir. Morning, ma'am. Just to add on about, I'm Christopher Kenacor. I'm Vice President of Philippine Kiteboarding Association, under of Philippine Olympic Committee of Manikadili, with server.
Vice President, the
Philippine Kiteboarding po. Yes, sir. And we just add on about the Bolabog kitesurfing community. Bolabog Beach is the one top destination, not only in Asia, we're like in Europe, we're the most famous place to kite on because of the lagoon, because of the area, it's safe itself, and we don't have big waves. And for the kids, for learning for the kids, it's easy for them because like comparison to Vietnam, they have big waves. If you go to Thailand, they have loads of boats, it's happening. So Bolabog is very special for kite surfer. And so it's a big for us to support all the youth, for the kids, because one of the Olympian was born here and raised here and trained here to get silver medalist. So yeah, we have a lot of kids here learning. So hopefully this kind of project will support us as well. We will support you, sir, as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Is there any other, in addition to Ken, our Christian is true Christian, the Philippines got silver medal, the only medal that the Philippines won in the Youth Olympic Games. And thank you for Bolabog because he molded the kid. He started at 7 years old with Ken. Siya yung nag-mold. Ang payat, ang malaki yung katawan. Now he's pwede.
Oh yes, sir.
And he became one of the world's best.
And we still conduct training for the kids until now, sir. So we have a lot of kids. Actually, most of the residents of Bolabog or the kids are training now after that.
So the commercial area is not the land, but it's the sea.
It's easy.
Okay. So yun yung realty value.
Yes, the beach.
The water.
The beach.
So kiteboard does not care kung ano ba yung development dito sa inland. At the most valuable part is the sea.
The beach, sir, and the landing
area.
Landing area.
Like in Thailand, we've been competing in Thailand and some other Asia. Because when you put a road close to the beach, it's affect the safety already. They can go to the road and smash to the seawall. This is some of the problem in some other parts of Asia where the kiteboarding destination. That's why Bolabog is very special for that. The only way they can to save them is the coconut tree. Without all this coconut tree, we have a lot of incident. And just imagine if you have road without coconut tree, there will be more accidents. So that's why Bolabog is very special for not only for residents, for the kite surfer internationally.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Any other questions or Francois, Mike, Vikas?
Yeah, Vikas Bhushan. Hi. I just wanted to reiterate from an environmental point of view for kiteboarding, we need a very wide sandy beach. And when a kiteboarder is out of control, they need that cushion buffer area. So I used to kiteboard in San Francisco, and there are several deaths because someone gets dragged onto the road, and in an instant there's a car or any kind of traffic, and literally a kiteboarder can be killed. So having heavy vehicles going on a regular basis near kiteboarders is a bad idea. And also in extreme weather conditions, we get very heavy gusts of wind. It's neither going to be safe for the vehicles nor for the kiteboarders. And the windy time is when the kiteboarding is happening. So it's really contradictory to build a road. The other is we get very strong storm surges when you have a storm and high tide and wind at the same time. So roads are also very susceptible to being washed away unless they build a very large seawall. And then as soon as you build a seawall, you erode the natural shoreline and reduce the amount of sand on the other side. So we understand the whole concept of 25+5 and why we need a untouched area there to act as a buffer. The coconut trees also act as a buffer because the kites actually get caught on the trees, preventing the person from running into the building or running into a seawall. But seawall is like life-threatening for a kiteboarder to smash into. Even a 2 or 3 foot concrete seawall is very dangerous. The small bamboo seawalls are safe and a cushion enough to kind of create a partial barrier. And so we have had accidents. People have broken bones, fractured hips. We also don't have very good emergency facilities in Boracay to handle. I'm a physician myself. We have no CAT scan. We have no ultrasound. So creating a scenario where we increase injuries here without the hospital infrastructure is also very dangerous. So a soft boardwalk at ground level made of movable materials that can withstand water going over it during storm conditions is much more likely to last than trying to build a hard structure with a seawall. Every 3 or 5 years, there are going to be issues of it being either eroded from below or cracked or foundation. And of course, it just becomes a danger to this particular sport. So there are other parts of the Philippines or islands where it's nice to be able to ride a car along the edge of the road and you have cliffs, but this is the opposite. We want soft sand, a gentle slope, a buffer area, and a walking area. And that's going to be safe for everyone and preserve the destination as this premier destination. We already had that reputation, then we lost it because of the water quality. So we were all very thankful to see the water quality being addressed, but now it will be contradictory to have a full road or a seawall there. And all the buildings that are on Bolabog are essentially in the same line as it is. To see those buildings chopped into pieces and then have a road in front of them is really not making any sense to the residents.
Thank you, Bikas. It was well said. Any other? Jo? I know Jojo here, siya yung isa sa nasunugan no, sa recent fire. And yun, we need emergency vehicles there because the fire trucks were not able to enter. So he lost all his equipments. So is there, you have anything to say?
Bacos has sent most of the...
Okay. So is there any other issue from Bolabog that you want our 20, within the 25+5?
Yeah. Hello, Francois. It's not only about Bolabog, but I think that the logic at the moment is we have more tourists coming, so there will be more traffic. We need more roads. But maybe we could find other alternatives and push people to walk more or use bicycles, for example. So in order to reduce traffic and no need for roads anymore. That's it.
Thank you, Francois. Very environment friendly message. Yeah, good point. And anything more from Bolabog side? Before our USEC move to other water sport topic. Okay. Anything about the 25+5? Would you like to raise the concern of the residents there that will be affected by the 25+5?
Yes, so the part of DNR, we just started the survey last week. So check po natin the validity on where we're coming from, and then we'll be exchanging notes on your valid and legal claim for that, and then we harmonize it kung what is the real basis of the survey and mapping. Right now, they just mark it temporarily based on the map what we have, and after General Manager, GM, and our Namrian surveyor finish all of those report, and they will submit that to us or to me, and then we'll review it. Before we'll make action, we need to call another meeting on a per residential area regarding that matter. So maybe we could dispense on future questions right now until we conduct another stakeholder for us. So the second thing that we're going to do after the survey, we will be mapping the residents. So maglilista po tayo. Lilista tayo, baka magpo-profile, ano yung width ng property niya, ano yung area ng property niya, so that we can account for who are the people that are affected, and those are the people that we are going to invite, so that we could discuss it. My proposal is we could discuss it siguro on-site na, para right there and there, di ba? Matuturo mo na. Di ba? So, natapos na tayo sa away, di ba? I've been doing that for the past 6 months when I was here. So, palagay ko, I am known to everybody naman here, so I can go there sa area nyo, and we check and we pinpoint, this is yours, this is mine, this is government side, this is 25 plus 5. And after that meeting, another agenda would follow if we have time, or we could make it another meeting, so we could measure. We wanted to measure the 25 plus 5 in terms of what area are we going to put the access, kung ano yung alignment natin. So that I could understand what doctor is saying, yung the landing. I think that's a valid, it's valid for me because I'm not a kiteboarder, but yung safety, yung when a kiteboarder lands and they need a buffer to naturally stop so as to prevent the banging it near of a certain infrastructure. And syempre, that would cause dilemma and controversy. So we will check on that. And there is no people that who knows about there but you people. I just wanted to know, in any given time of the year, if you have a monthly schedule, how high is the sand being replenished, and how low is the sand being removed during a certain hydrologic situation. So I can check on the elevation, because our engineers in DPWH, they would only check on the protection, the stability. Of course, they do not check on the buildup of the sand, which doctor has told me a while ago, the buildup of the sand, the removal of the sand. So that's the whole year activity. So we wanted to know that too, because those are informations that I did not receive few months ago. And when we're deliberating on the use of that access, those information were not available to me. So though I need those. So help me build that information. At least on my level, I have now information that I could pass on to my principal. And then of course, the third, about the coconuts. What is the best number of coconuts on that area? See, and then what will be the distance between the water and the coconuts? Because if we plant coconut near the shore, it might again become an obstruction. So it might become a hazard risk. So I just wanted to know the proper alignment on how do we align it, so that when we augment to have a vegetation on that, we know the alignment. And in relation to that alignment, can you also check the type of coconut or endemic coconut? Kasi alam nyo yan eh. Maybe we'll be taught about science and academic in forestry, but of course, if it did not stand the test of time, kung minsan coconut ikakabit natin, mamamatay, just like what we experience here along the main road, 95% dead, So, nung nandito ako 2 days ago, bakit nagtatanim ka ng panibago? Nasa na unang tinanim niyo bago kong umalis. Boss, namatay. Ha? Ba't namatay? Hindi po namin alam. So, to sort the question, ayaw kong marinig. Diba? You see those coconuts along the road? Sayang. Diba? When they planted it, those are green. When I left December, those are flourishing green. And then pagdating ko 2 days ago, they're replanting again. 4 months thereafter, so ibig sabihin, a month before, 2 months, patay na yun. Diba? Dumarating lang kami, nagtanim. So, sorry for that, pero it's stupid. Diba? So we had a meeting with the DPWH a while ago, and we discussed about that. So please inform us, the DNR, so that we could make a proper research on what is the type of plant, or right type of plant that we're going to put up there. Or even, wag na muna ikabit if mahirapan siyang tumubo, di ba? Hindi naman kailangan lahat yan, may halaman. Kasi we are in a beach side na we do not need more vegetation. If we have to maintain the mountains, that's already good for our vegetation. But in the road, so we need to check on that. So it's a mistake on part of the task force. So we will be recovering that. Dami kasi niyan. When we counted it, they told me that it's around more than 200. Doon lang sa phase 1 road. The phase 2 road will be coming this middle of March. Naumpisahan na. So that's another 500 trees, so 700 trees. If after a year, I'll be having 800 trees dead. Diba? Di mapupuna na naman kami. So we'll be checking on that. So that's why, on the Bolabog area, I just wanted to know ano yung endemic and resilient and resistant coconut tree there. Okay. And of course, I need a suggestion on what type of access or type of materials, type of materials that we are going to do. The design is easy. We just draw it. But of course, I need specific. Are we going to use pebbles? Are we going to use bricks? And what type of things that we're going to use? What width are we going to allow so that access for security, peace and order, garbage, except logistics, would pass through with ease, not very, very constrict. So, and of course, let us define limited commercial use. Of course, when we say limited commercial use, that includes condominiums, house for rents, apartments, restaurants, high-rise. So those things I need those so that the LGU and the task force will be guided on future development of that. Because we're looking for a long-term now. We'll be not looking on a medium-term solution for that development. We're seeing medium-term to long-term. Government has already invested billions of money here in Boracay. So it's already our capex. So that is already an investment free, owned by the people. So let us now think forward. So 25, 50 years, what do you want to see along the Bolabog on the next 10, 15, 20, 25 years, or 50 years? Hoping that we'll see that on our lifetime. So yun yung information that I need. So maybe we could have a little group discussion. I will make the schedule, baka ito na lang sa area na yon. So all of you will need to collect those informations so that we will not be spending more time having each other na malaking grupo. Total kung you share the same concerns and sentiments and you agreed on this type of things, maybe we could do it in a focus group discussion. I'll be going there in your area. I started that last night already. So, ambient is very good. They accept me there. And I didn't receive any punch. And any people are very, very peaceful there. So, I know. But no promises yet. I'll not be promising anything. But of course, I just need information so that I could have something to report to my principal. So, if we have deliberation discussion, then I already did my part. Sayang kasi if we decided, my boss upstairs decided, without reporting what is your concern. Pangit eh. Diba? At least may fighting chance tayo. fighting chance tayo. But of course, I'll be reminding everybody that I will not be partial in this. So I will get all of those information. We will open our communications. And whatever the discussion, let us not be disagreeable people. Because at the end of this, there is an exchange. So I pray that we only disagree on certain matters, but we don't disagree as friends and people together. Because you'll be seeing me on the next few years, so you are married to me. Whatever happens, I will also be here. Okay, so 25 plus 5, other concern, GM? Okay, so we go on to the third item. Other matters na tayo. So, are there any more concerns or topics that we did not include here and we could discuss it here right now? Presiding officer, ma'am, your floor.
So with the Bolabog concerns, okay na lahat? Are we clear na? And the USEC is also, yeah, okay, Vikas, please.
One small concern, is there any scope of having Bolabog part of the cleaning of the sand using environmentally correct, a sand sifter? I saw that there were pictures of that might come to White Beach. We do sometimes have trash blown onto Bolabog during the windy season, and we've never had a proper maintenance, yeah.
Well, if you, my first answer there is, of course, the shorelines, lands, inland, which are not owned by private residents or private commercial owners, is a responsibility of the government. So, what agency are responsible for that? Of course, the first line of agency responsible for that is the LGU. Well, but for the longest time, maybe because of lack of funds, or even the national government failed to make that maintenance, or maybe the government is busy collecting on those environmental fees and everything, I think we could discuss that on a third-party basis, or if a community which is very, very strong in like your community, maybe we could make an internal management type for that we could only maintain by ourselves.
Yes, this is part of what
yeah.
we were proposing, is that the owners and residents along the beachfront take responsibility for maintaining their section of the boardwalk, their section of trash collection, solar lighting, and all of that, as part of meeting governmental goals, meeting safety goals, and also allow them to preserve their buildings when they were properly permitted, when they were compliant with the rules at the time that they were built. So some of us as owners are hoping for some kind of compromise and also some kind of win-win situation where we want to preserve and clean the areas. We want to be part of that solution. Right now there hasn't been any proper trash cans, there hasn't been any provision for solar lighting, and it's not within our scope to build a boardwalk in the setback area. But if there's a dialogue for that, I think the owners are very open to support it.
I will include that in the development of the access, the lighting system, the trash receptacle or the bins, and disposal areas for that. We'll include that because we could include that.
And some limited signage, that way also for navigation purposes, it's helpful for people to know where are the different resorts, in what order. Yep.
You just help us on the design because, our standard design is just only signages, no parking, turn left, no turn right. But if you have a certain marker that describes the area as kiteboarding, or you have your own signages, we'll include that. Regarding the maintenance, after we have built the access, we could have a conference meeting regarding that matter. Adoption in front of your area, or a clustered maintenance, or a community-based maintenance. And then we'll check if it can be funded by the government or your organization or a certain charge in addition to that use of that area. So we can have a more creative way to sustain it so that if government fails on maintaining that, you are an independent group that maintains that area. The more that you could love the area, because government will be free up from securing that area, because you yourself will be policing that area, and that is sustainment and sustainability. And
yeah, this is
I
exactly.
even encourage that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think the stakeholders are looking for and are ready to participate and even include the signage that this section is sponsored by so and so. We've seen that model in other parts of the world, and then people take pride in it, and it's not. Otherwise, we've been the forgotten back beach, and you know, we want to make sure that anything that's put in place is properly maintained.
Don't you worry. The back beach before will become part of the front beach right now. So we'll be improving that. Maybe we have more discussions with this. Dami ako natutunan ah. Well, I do not know if I could go there yet.
And I don't know if this is in the scope, but you're
Yes,
so open to listening. We're also very sensitive to the issues of commissioners and illegal fishing.
Good.
You know, we feel that if the government's going to be strict about all of these things, then why is fishing still happening in Bolabog in front of everyone's view when we've been told no fishing is allowed around Boracay? And so there hasn't been enforcement of no fishing, and that environmentally small fish are being caught, and for outsiders coming for the natural beauty, the potential of Bolabog with turtles, with larger flying fish and all is there, but it will never achieve that if people are fishing with nets. Also, nets create a problem for the kites and for the sailing foils in terms of entanglement. So we would like to see, at least speaking for myself, proper enforcement of the no fishing guidelines or clarification what the actual fishing rules are, because I understand during the closure that was suspended for the sake of maybe people had to feed themselves, but I don't know now what is the status. Is fishing allowed or not allowed?
Well, as far as the ordinance is concerned and our fisheries laws, it is not allowed within that area. So there is an area far that they could fish. So the absence of enforcement, we need to strengthen that, and we'll be checking on that. And maybe we could have a joint policy management drafting for that, so we could improve that kind of activity, so as to protect, of course, the value of the kiteboarding area, and of course the aquatic resources. So we need to strike a balance of the benefits of the marine life or livelihood, and of course the balance for a certain area usage for sports and recreation.
So
We'll
just to
check on that.
clarify, inside the reef, fishing is not allowed?
Yeah, inside the fishing, except for picking those
The
field shells ba yun?
right.
Pagkain.
But not net fishing.
I think that net fishing is not allowed. A certain size. Okay.
Is
So as
it-
not to catch the little ones.
But is it allowed inside the reef? Any fishing?
Because we're in the process of finalizing the marine protected area, so which is actually located there. So, but in that area, as long as they, sud, when they use this parang, how you call it, when they push it to catch shells, and then, the rest, they take the bigger one and throw away the small ones, which eventually they die, So that's bawat. It's not allowed in our ordinance, including, of course, the net. There's a certain size, so that they can only catch the bigger ones, and the small ones, small fry can get away. So there is no law that prohibits the fishermen from using Bolabog Beach until now, except the areas that we declared marine protected area, where the divers go, which is located up north. And I think there's a portion there, but in Bolabog not yet.
is there any scope to declare inside the reef of Bolabog a marine protected area?
That one, we have, depends on our, it will be, there will be a study as to what extent we can prohibit the people from extracting food or whatever in that area. But knowing at the moment, no, people in that area are dependent, especially during low tide where they pick their food. You know, they pick up shells.
Yeah, no, I understand the picking up shells.
They fish a little.
I mean putting nets out which are blocking the kiting and I can't imagine. I've seen small nets that are basically like a mesh.
If it's small net, then it's not allowed. But at the moment, before kite boarders arrived, the fishermen were already there. And it will hurt them, or they might hurt us if they find themselves an outcast of their own beach, which they use as their source of food from the very, very beginning. And if they have no money to buy food, if they go to that beach, they can catch something. What's not allowed is the taksay. How you call that in English? Troll, that's not allowed. But a boatman who drops a small net, and as long as the net is the right size, is okay. As far as the ordinances of Malay are concerned,
We will be making another policy for that to harmonize it. But of course, there will be a markings. We can put markings on both sides, even not using buoys, so as not to obstruct certain access between the fishermen and of course the kiteboarders. So we cannot, of course, push them far, but of course we cannot allow them to come near because it will provide hazard and entangled boat. So I think we need to have a more in-depth study on that or conference with that. So we do that in parallel during our meetings. So everything we discuss it. After this meeting, since you people are always seeing each other every day, have it every day. Have it every day, study and conference, even though in a table talk or coffee talk or after a few minutes. So those information will be helpful to me. So when I meet you guys, we have now a menu of things to do. And so that we could improve more on the management of that area, because those concerns are part of a good management policy that we can create so that it will be a bipartisan, or both parties would agree and would understand what is happening and what is our way forward. So let us move on to way forwarding our actions. I think those are the valid concerns. Of course, we will not be preventing people from benefiting out of the marine resource we have. That is below water. And of course, we will not also discourage people that will be benefiting above the water. So pareho po yan. Ma'am.
thank you, Yusek. Yes, Mike, the president of the Divers Association.
May mga fishing activities din na nangyayari sa dive site. Actually, ang isang naging magandang resulta ng closure na napansin namin, may mga dive site na dumami rin. So isang problema yun. No? So, we put buoys there, of course with the help of the DENR. Ang problema, nawawala yung ibabuyan natin. And then may pinuputol nila. And then recently sa Kamiya, may mga nakikita kami parang bato na ginagamit nilang parang pabigat dun sa fishing line. So nangyayari, syempre mga isda natin dun sa wreck, nawawala na, nababawasan. And we know for a fact na merong supposed to be regulation na no fishing or no take zone sa mga dive sites, sa snorkeling site. So siguro, yun nga, if we can do the enforcement para ma-address natin yung ganong activity, na wag mangyari doon sa dive site, no? So hindi naman namin sila parang binabawalang mangisda. Ang amin lang, syempre, meron naman tayong dinesignate na area for them at may dinesignate din na area for activities. So yun lang siguro yung kailangan nating ma-enforce, na lahat yun dapat siguro sumunod na lang tayo sa ganun. Kasi nangyayari nga, kahit yung mga turista natin, isa yun sa concern nila na bakit maraming fishing nets. Meron pang isang parang nangyari dati, may nahuli pa na may naipit pa na sea turtles dun sa sa fishing net nung closure nung nagki-clean up kami. So buti na lang na na rescue naman. Kaya lang yun nga yung sana maiwasan natin kasi sumasabit din sila sa mga reef, yung mga fishing nets. So isa rin yun na kailangan nating siguro ma-address.
Can we discuss that dun sa water sport natin after this? Para I want in-depth on that. So we go back to the Bolabog area. Do we have more concerns? Both happy and pressing concern? Yes, sir.
For the improvement of the vegetative cover of Bolabog area, maybe it may be done slightly or moderately depending on the characteristics of profile of the community or of the area. Maybe we can look at open spaces where we can plant, say, ornamental coconuts like tagnanan, katigan, or aromatic variety like that, because we are trying to come up with a more a project that can provide aesthetic value or that has a visual impact. And another thing is that because Boracay is very much exposed to typhoons or storms, so maybe planting bamboos would be of great help to Boracayans, especially ornamental bamboos, depending on the availability of open spaces and perhaps suitability. I know very well that bamboo would thrive best in areas where there is that, saline or similar type of waters. Yeah. And perhaps limited varieties like giant bamboos, where it could be of great help as, as a windbreaker during typhoons. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other concern that we can discuss here while our USEC and the GM are here? It's or Ken? Good.
So there being none, so we move on to the last part of the meeting. Recap. So I will be reminded if I really listed and listened to you. Okay, these are bullets, no? 1, limited commercial of residential area of Bolabog. Number 2, the concern about access. A, fire. B, health. C, garbage. D, no logistics. E, serenity, peace, and order. G, kiteboarding support. And H, preservation of the surf or boarding area. I is coconut tree. J, safety landing for boarders. In relation to if there will be a seawall, an alternative will be the distance of the coconut trees to be transplanted if there is a need. Another is the emergency facility of the whole Boracay. That also includes Bolabog to gain access on emergency facility. And D, the most important part of the landing or the buffer area for the surfers. And of course, the most important part is letter E. Ayaw, no road. Okay. And then number 3, any means of transport to move around people. So instead of increasing the number of roads, we might be increasing the number of transport means, bicycle or walking, a conducive walkable area. Number 4, maintenance of the area. That includes inland and seaward, or including the surfing area. Number 5, the prohibition or reduction of decommissioners using that area to market, and of course they're not legal of doing business. Number 6, fishing and marine use, or even declaration of marine protected area, so as to delineate one area which fishing is not allowed and areas which fishing are allowed. 7, other varieties of vegetation and protection by use of other ornamental vegetation, trees, coconuts, or whatever, the bamboo, small or big bamboos. And the diving will be discussed later on. I will not include it here. Please remind me, did I forgot or I didn't list any of these items, or may hindi ako na-include?
Isa na lang ho, I would like to thank our Boracay Island, Boracay Interagency Task Force for allowing the recently concluded kite event. It was very successful, held last weekend, no? Thank you very much for allowing us. Kahit hindi kami napayagan sa Dragon Boat, okay lang, sir. And also, of course, the Frisbee competition. Sana next year payagan na rin yung Boracay Dragon Boat, yung Boracay International Funboard Cup. We are planning to relaunch Bolabog next year. This iconic event, the kite and windsurfing event, is held every January, and normally it should be 30 years, pero natigil ko po ng 4 years because of the water na madumi. It's nakakahiya to invite people and enjoy the dirty beach. But now that it's cleaned, we are planning to resume we're entering 27th year of the Boracay International Funboard Cup, which single-handedly promoted Bolabog as a destination of this water sport. Thank you, sir. Sana mapayagan na kami.
Ganun paalam. We will discuss it further and deliberate it. So if there will be a plan, we need to know the plan early so that we could make preparation. So para hindi masikip yung short notice yung yes namin. So we'll do that. Palagi ko naman na I will confidently say na that will be permitted. By that time, end of December, tapos na yung second phase. The first phase will be coming from Mount Luho going to Bolabog. Hindi ko alam kung yung access, at that time mo ngayon yung access. Yes, we will check on the development of the infrastructure if you have space for that. So we could allow that. The Dragon Boat, sino si Dragon Boat? Kayo din? Naku, na-2-0 kayo sa akin. Yung Manila Bay, hindi ko pinermit. Hindi siya pwede. Hindi siya pwede. Kasi we're digging in front of the baywalk. So, hindi talaga siya pwede. Malas naman ni Dragon Boat. Na-2-0 sa akin. Di bale, bawi tayo. You can have everything naman. But of course, there are things that we could allow based on the timing. Thank you. Okay, so the first stakeholders meeting for the Bolabog access. Hindi ko nasasabi ko yung dudugtong for the Bolabog access along and parallel to the residential areas. Did I describe it right? Kasi ayokong gamitin yung for a proposed access to be built, constructed, or improved by the government. Medyo mas magaan. So, this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Water sports, maiwan kayo, ha?